What if a piece of clothing could do more than just cover you? What if it could actually change how you feel, how you think, even how other people see you? Today, we're going to deconstruct Elevated Vision. It's a luxury brand that's built on this wild idea that fashion can be a tool to, well, elevate your mind. We're going to go way beyond the fabric to really get into the philosophy and the symbolism that's stitched into every single piece. And right off the bat, Elevated Vision makes a really bold claim. This isn't just about clothes, it's a statement. I mean, just look at the stark, minimalist setting, the clean lines of the garment. This is so not about chasing the latest fast fashion trend. No, this is all about crafting this aura of presence and power. The kind that commands a room before you even say a single word. So, how does a brand even get to that level of identity? Well, it's definitely not by accident. It all starts with a really powerful core philosophy, an idea that's so central it's literally woven into every single thread. So let's pull back the curtain and see the vision that gives this brand its soul. And here we go, the brand's entire reason for being, right here in one sentence from its founder. Elevated vision is where fashion meets the soul. This is the whole key. It's a very deliberate move away from just seeing fashion as decoration. Instead, it's all about positioning clothing as this kind of bridge between how we look on the outside and who we are on the inside. Okay, so this brings us to their official mission, to elevate human consciousness through luxury. Just think about that for a second. They're not just selling expensive clothes. They're actually using luxury itself as a vehicle for a higher state of being. The goal here is to create these wearable symbols of enlightenment. The luxury isn't really the point. It's just the medium for the message. All right, so that's the big, grand philosophy. But how does that translate into an actual product you can wear? Well, let's dive into one of their signature lines, the Illumination collection. It is the perfect example of this blend of luxury and enlightenment. And here it is, the Illumination Thobe. You can see how it's presented. It's almost like a piece of art, right? The structure is just impeccable, from that elegant hood all the way down to the precise embroidery. The brand calls it a masterpiece of refinement and poise. And yeah, you can totally see why. It hits that really tough balance between being modern and completely timeless. And this is where we get to see just how deep the brand's storytelling goes. Every single design choice is just steeped in symbolism. That flowing white fabric, that's not just a color choice, it represents purity. The intricate silver embroidery, that's meant to be the illumination of the soul. Even the way it's made is a deliberate mix of old-school techniques and modern style, all tying back to that core idea of enlightening the spirit. But the brand's story doesn't just stop at the spiritual side of things. It also gets into the more terrestrial. So if the Illumination collection is for the soul, this next one, the Legends in Cloth collection, is all about the will. It's designed to embody power, leadership, and just that unwavering ambition. So check this out. Within this one collection, you have 3 totally distinct personalities, and each one is designed for a different side of a leader. You've got White Dawn for purity and prestige, Midnight Crest, which is all about power and mystery, and Steel Horizon for resilience and vision. First up, we've got White Dawn. This piece is all about that quiet confidence. It just radiates a calm authority, It's not loud. It doesn't have to be. This is for those moments when you really need your presence to do all the talking for you. And then we have a complete shift in tone with the Midnight Crest. The brand literally calls this deep, commanding black the uniform of dominance. How cool is that? It's power, but it's wrapped in mystery. It's designed to project influence, control, and this unshakable sense of self. And finally, rounding out the trio is the Steel Horizon. This modern gray piece is all about strength forged in elegance. It's really designed for that forward-thinking visionary, the person who stands unbent in the face of any challenge, but does it with a mix of resilience and grace. All right, so we've looked at the big ideas behind the collections, but you know what they say, it's all in the details. So now let's zoom in on those smaller signatures that really define the brand's identity and just whisper quality. And this is just so smart. Even within a single style, like their majestic Jalab, they give you these nuanced options. You've got the men's edition, which is tailored and bold, perfect for a confident leader at a summit. And then there's the ceremonial edition, which is a bit softer, more dignified. It's for those moments that call for tradition and grandeur. It just shows they get that a leader has to play many different roles. And of course, we have to talk about the logo, the EV insignia. It's designed to be subtle but also commanding. It's not some loud billboard for the brand, it's more like a quiet crest. It's a symbol of vision and ambition, and it's meant to be recognized by those who understand what it really represents. It's kind of like an if you know type of thing. And this whole philosophy of meticulous, meaningful design, it isn't just for the main garments. Nope, it extends across the entire product line. Just take a look at the legacy scarf. It carries the exact same DNA. Every single thread is designed to whisper sophistication. It's all part of the story. So, what does this all add up to? I mean, when you combine that deep spiritual philosophy, the symbolic design, and the incredible craftsmanship, you get something that's way more than just apparel. You get a wearable statement. And this right here is the ultimate promise of elevated vision. You're not just buying a jalab, you're adopting an identity. The clothing is literally engineered to carry the air of leaders, the stride of conquerors, and the vision of pioneers. It's all about embodying that archetype. All of this brings us to a final question, something to think about. When does a piece of clothing stop being just clothing and become something more? Well, elevated vision would argue it's when every single element, from the mission all the way down to the material, is infused with one powerful singular idea. And maybe this is the absolute best way to sum up the brand's entire promise. It's the difference between just simple movement and making an entrance. With elevated vision, the goal is crystal clear. You don't just walk into a room, you arrive.